What's up, everybody? I hope everyone tuned in to watch UFC 251. I sure did, and it was great. So today, we're going to be talking about what happened and what did we learn, if we learned anything, and what the actual results were, and how close did we get when it came to predicting. So let's get into that right now. I want to jump into the first fight in the flyweight division for women. That would be Amanda Ribas versus Paige VanZant. Now, I knew this was going to be one-sided. I just didn't think it was going to be one-sided and finish that fast with that armbar. Now, Amanda Ribas, obviously, I thought this was such like a lateral kind of fight for her because this wasn't fighting up, and I knew she outmatched her, but wow, it was really evident. And so, good Amanda Ribas. I feel sorry for Paige VanZant because this is her last fight within the UFC, and then she's supposed to go into free agency. Now, unfortunately, this is all the other promotions. They're looking at this fight like, okay, this is like a sample of what we're gonna get. Hopefully not. She's good looking. She can make tons of money when it comes to, like, Dancing with the Stars. I don't know. I'm not sure if she should stay or if she should, try free agency. But I guess that's all on her. However, for Amanda Ribas, I believe like her next fight should be somewhere up, like Macy Barber or something like that. Like she needs to fight up because she's getting better and better. Like, this didn't test her. She needs something that's going to test her. And honestly, like, she's the real deal. And we want to make sure she gets built to be a proper contender. Because right now, when it comes to Valentina, there's just Valentina and the rest of the division. So, I mean, I'm not saying Ribas is ready for her yet. I'm just saying I want to see her get to fights that could get her ready for it. Let's talk about the women's strawweight division. Rose Namajunas versus Jessica Andrade. Another rematch that I was very much looking forward to. So, what happened? Rose Namajunas did exactly what I wanted her to do. Use that footwork and really just piece Jessica Andrade up. Now, obviously, in the third round, Jessica Andrade found her distance and was really delivering some power shots that was putting Rose Namajunas in trouble. So even though Rose won by decision, I think if it was 5 rounds, this would be a much more interesting fight. Who knows how it would have went after that? But Rose looked excellent. I mean, obviously, hats off to Trevor Whitman as well. So, what's next? What should happen there? I think she should fight Zhang Weili. They could try to go for a trilogy fight. Don't see why. Go to Zhang Weili. I know Zhang Weili could fight Joanna again, but I think a much more interesting bout would be Zhang Weili and Rose Namajunas. Even though Zhang Weili is very, very powerful and technical, so I might favor Zhang Weili in that match. But that footwork, if she could outmaneuver Zhang Weili for 5 rounds, it's going to be something. So, yeah, I want to see that fight next. Next fight for the men's bantamweight championship, Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo. Now, obviously, Peter Yan won via TKO stoppage in the 5th round. A very late stoppage. This man's body was giving all the signs that he didn't want any more of this, right? Now, what was really good about this is Aldo in the first few rounds definitely looked like the Aldo of old. He was leg kicking again, which was amazing seeing him leg kick. He actually leg kicked Peter Yan off his feet at one point, but Peter Yan was being very, very strategic, picking his shots and using that power to his advantage. And honestly, I think after like round 4, you knew Jose was done. Like, he was so tired. I think maybe cutting that extra 10 pounds since he used to be at 145, 135 really did it. But honestly, Peter Yan did great. He did great in that fight, and Jose Aldo did great as well. But he got stopped, and honestly, he probably won't get another title shot anytime soon. And I think the next fight should be Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling, even though Dana White is being weird and not committing to it. But that should definitely be the next fight for that division, Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. Next, we have the UFC Featherweight Championship with Alex Volkanovski and Max Holloway. So I was maybe not too surprised, but Alex Volkanovski really tried to implement the exact same game plan, going for those leg kicks. However, Max Holloway kind of had a surprise for him when he really returned all of that with tons of 1-2, just straight down the middle, and was giving Alex like a really hard time in rounds 1 and 2. However, in 3, Alex made some adjustments, and it was a much, much closer round. And 4 and 5 definitely belonged to Alex Volkanovski. Now, personally, I believe that Max did enough to win the fight. I had it 3-2 Max. However, and mind you, I wanted Alex Volkanovski to win. I just thought that Max brought enough to the table to get him the W and maybe us a trilogy fight. However, the judges didn't see it that way, and they gave it to Alex Volkanovski, which when I was watching it with a couple of my buddies, I watched the round 3, and I saw how close it was. I'm like, it depends on how this fight ends. If 4 and 5 belong to Alex, and he ends 5 emphatically, they're going to give it to him. I can see just how the judges were working that night. It just seemed like that's what they were going to do. Now, it might not be the most fair thing. I mean, it was fair. It wasn't stolen. A lot of people keep saying the match was stolen. It wasn't. That was a very close fight, and it depends on what they were looking for. Either way, I did believe that Max did enough, but that's not the end for Max. Alex, I believe, for the next few fights, he's got like a lot ahead of him. He's got Korean Zombie, he's got Zabit, he's got Yair. There's a whole bunch of monsters in that division, so I hope he's ready. And I think any one of those 4 would be a great fight for him. And Max also can start chopping away at the contenders and put himself right back up there at title contention. Would it happen immediately? No, but he needs to get this going so he can be right up there. I think him and Alex are like matched really, really well, which is why both of their fights. Because the first fight, even though he was chopping away at the legs, it was still a very close fight. So yeah, that's really it for that fight. Okay, now we're on to the main event for the UFC welterweight title between Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal. So despite what people think, this fight went exactly how it was supposed to go. Grappling heavy for Kamaru Usman, that was his key to victory, right? Not the opposite game plan for Jorge, which would have been to stand and trade with him. He did that a little in round 1, and you saw what happened. Jorge won that round. Both those guys are to be commended for a major reason. Number 1, they both had 6 days to prepare for this, and they both had to try to come up with the best game plan. Jorge, with 6 days, made it very hard to be taken down, and when he was taken down, he didn't stay down for long until like the 4th and 5th round where he was like overly gassed. And let's say this for Kamaru. Kamaru saw that some of the takedowns weren't working, so he adjusted and just pinned him up against the cage, did the foot stomps, did the body shots, and Jorge couldn't escape. Also, Jorge was kind of giving that to him as well. He kept backing up into the cage, which is exactly where Kamaru wants in the first place. So, I don't know why everyone's like, it was boring. No, those were the game plans that needed to happen for Kamaru to win. He's a championship. He's fighting to keep that belt and be consistent. However, like I said, you saw the little shines of that stand-up, what happened if he stood up with Jorge for a little too long. And I want everybody to think about this. He took Tyron Woodley down easier than he took down Jorge Masvidal. That's saying something. He pretty much took Tyron down at will. At one point, he did this throw to Tyron where he shoved in one direction and changed it in midair. It was awesome. He did something really, really cool. However, one of the biggest takeaways after all of that, where should Kamaru, who should he fight next? I think it should be Gilbert Burns, only because, Leon Edwards makes the most sense number-wise, but he fought him already. So I think Gilbert Burns would be a better test for him, especially because that guy, if he gets taken down to the ground, he's not helpless down there. This is the jiu-jitsu champion we're talking about. And he's great standing up as well. He would definitely challenge him there. So I think that's a great fight to make. I think, honestly, Jorge should fight Leon. It's a great money fight. There's already kind of a feud built into that. So imagine if both of those fights were on the same card. Who wouldn't buy that? That'd be awesome, right? So Jorge definitely has his star power rose up after this, and he can make some really good fights. And Kamaru just has to keep on going down the line. So I guess he's also tied GSP for the most wins in welterweight, and I know he called him out kind of, or he would like that fight. I'm not sure how likely it is to happen, because I know how they feel about GSP is coming in and fighting for belts and then just leaving after that. However, this was exactly the way this fight should have went, and I'm happy with it. That's really it for UFC 251. I thought it was a great card. However, it's not it for Fight Island. On Wednesday, we have a match between 2 featherweights, Calvin Kattar and Dan Ige. And then on Saturday, we've got Davidson Figueiredo and Joseph Benavidez for the vacant flyweight title. And also right behind that, not behind that, before that would be Kelvin Gastelum and Jack Hermanson, which is going to be awesome. And then a week after that, Darren Till versus Robert Whittaker. And then the heavyweight debut of Alexander Gustafsson versus Fabricio Verdum on that same card. So we still got plenty to go on Fight Island. The prelims are pretty cool too. So keep on watching. Get yourself an ESPN subscription, or make a Discord like I did, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to end it here. And if there's any other videos you want to see about ESPN, any other opinions, whatever like that, let me know. Comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, man. Into the nerd.